It's no secret that a game's art and graphical look is crucial for a game's success. Thumbnails, screenshots and trailers are what players first encounter when introduced to a game. If the art style doesn't suit them, they won't play the game. To make matters a bit more complicated, everyone has different tastes in graphics. Some people only want to play games with the most realistic graphics possible, whilst others like completely minimalist games where most things are simple geometrical shapes. To sum it up, art is just as subjective as you've always been taught it is. That of course means that your game won't be for everyone, neither in art style, genre or gameplay, and that's perfectly fine. However, there is one crucial point for making a game stand out and, equally importantly, be memorable. I'll get into that in a moment, but first... Hi, I'm LevUnknown. I'm the lead developer for the visual novel RPG Mistwinter Bay. I've studied both game design and 2D art at university, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. Sometimes. Definitely not all the time. Anyhow, in this video we'll look at some existing games' art styles and what makes them memorable or not. We'll also see what I did with this sort of knowledge when I made art for Mistwinter Bay. It's also worth mentioning that the things I bring up in this video are equally important to the visual look of the game as it is to creating lore. But I'll talk more in depth about writing game lore in another video. So, the key point to making your game's art stand out to be memorable is sort of two things. It's mainly its theme, but it's also its symbols. We'll look at the game Genshin Impact to see what I mean. In Genshin Impact, the graphical theme is a lot of things. It's anime, fantasy, toon-shaded, Ghibli-esque and so on. But there are also themes on a smaller scale. If we look at the 4 currently released regions in Genshin Impact, we can see a clear visual theme for characters, buildings, furniture and landscape. These are all inspired by real-life cultures. Almost every game is inspired by existing cultures in some way. We humans like to look at existing things to get inspired before we create something ourselves. And if you've ever taken any sort of art course, you'll know that references are important. Alongside these themes, there are also symbols in Genshin Impact. These symbols appear time and again in various places. The symbols can be connected to certain organizations like the Knights of Favonius, or countries like Inazuma, or specific characters. However, the symbols that are most common are those of the 7 magical elements. A combination of colors and shapes make these symbols especially memorable. Those who have played the game would easily recognize these symbols anywhere outside of the game. That's something everyone should strive for when creating a game. Now, let's take a quick look at a less good example. Keep in mind that this doesn't mean that the game is bad. I played it myself and thoroughly enjoyed it, so it's only about the visuals that are sort of based on my personal opinion. But it was actually my art teacher's university who made me aware of, well, all of this. And this game's lack of memorable art style in particular. So blame him if you really have to. The game in question is Divinity Original Sin 2. It's what you can call generic, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We all know Divinity Original Sin 2 sold well. I mean, come on, it's a co-op RPG. And the graphics are good, no doubt about that. But are they really memorable? When you look at the promotion art, does it stand out compared to other fantasy RPGs? If you played it, are there any sort of symbols you remember? Any sort of recurring themes in the UI or anything that makes you immediately know it's this game? I wouldn't know it was this game if you showed me a screenshot. I might as well have thought it was Pillars of Eternity or any other sort of top-down party-based RPG. Mind you, all of these games are memorable for other reasons, mainly their story, but it can't hurt to have all of it, right? Let's look at another game that's also a good example of memorable art style and symbols, but this time it's for different reasons than Genshin Impact. Hades uses a unique look for most of its graphics, with especially the character portraits standing out. This art style is captivating on its own, but it gets even more unique when mixed with its symbols. Since Hades is based on Greek mythology, there are a lot of symbols related to that. Many of them you may have seen before, some are completely new. What makes Hades symbols memorable is a combination of familiarity and an innovative art style. You've probably seen lots of imagery related to ancient Greece before, but when it's combined with this particular uncommon art style, it makes the game stand out and become so much more memorable. With all of this in mind, let's get into how I tried to make Mistwinter Bay stand out thematically and in terms of symbols. This is all deeply connected to the game's lore even though I won't mention it, so keep that in mind. I wanted clearly recognizable UI that would scream Mistwinter Bay if you see it in any picture or video. To do that, I stuck to a color scheme of brown and gold, and, most importantly, I used 2 symbols, wheat and mermaid scales. Both wheat and mermaid scales are present on Mistwinter Bay's coat of arms, which makes the incorporation of them in the UI make thematical sense. The frequent use of these symbols makes them unconsciously engraved in the player's mind. When they see these symbols outside of the game, they'll unconsciously think about the game. I hope. And that's great for promotion. I also made sure to make coats of arms for Mistwinter Bay and the other areas in the game. These not only help players distinguish the regions from one another in the game, but also serve as symbols to remember outside of the game as well. In addition, every country has its own visual style for buildings, landscape and characters, much like in Genshin Impact. Although you see it a lot less frequently in Mistwinter Bay. And just like in Genshin Impact, these cultures are greatly inspired by real or fictional cultures. But just like in Hades, these familiar images look a little bit different at times in order to make them more visually and thematically interesting. But that's a topic for another video. That's all I had to say for now. I can't say I feel great about quote-unquote trash-talking Divinity. It's a good game, I swear. Please don't come at me for it. If you're really mad about it, I suppose pressing the like button would show it. That'll teach me. Don't forget to comment on how absolutely furious you are about me calling Divinity's art style generic. Or maybe just give other good or bad examples of games. And why not subscribe while you're at it, so that you can leave a complaint on the next video too. That's all for now. I hope to see you next time.